Welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. I'm so excited to have a really special guest today. But before we get into who she is and what she does, I want to remind you guys to go over to www.Promote, Profit, Publish quiz and find out where your platform skills really are at before you launch a book, product, or service. Are you ready? Okay, so my guest today is Erin Saxton. And Erin Saxton is a global director, media spokesperson, a brand developer, and public relations, as well as a producer. She has a lot of hats on. Erin Saxton founded her firm, 11 Communications, in response to the industry need for a new kind of marketing. Strategic, yet multifaceted, precise communications. Wow, that's a tongueful. That's a tongue twister.
I love tongue twisters.
Erin is best known for her connections and expertise in taking an idea and joining that idea with an instrumental plan and team to consult, connect, and direct the plan forward. 11 Communications continues her track record of successfully having campaigns that hit the mark and stay on top. She is a multi-Emmy-nominated TV producer and has long been on the receiving end of PR pitches, having worked on shows that include The View, Barbara Walters specials, and Good Morning America. Through that extensive experience, she carved a niche for consulting on and executing effective PR and marketing campaigns. On leaving The View, Saxton launched her own marketing agency, aptly named the Idea Network, and ran the company successfully for 12 years. At the Idea Network, Erin led the national media strategy for notables like Jack Canfield, who at last count sold over 500 million books. In July 2011, she merged companies with Kodak's former chief executive officer, Jeffrey Hazlett, and together they have grown into Tallgrass Public Relations. With her recent launch of full-service integrated communications and consulting agency, she's now back on her own. There's a song in there someplace. Her knowledge extends across...
No, there's a song, all right.
Her knowledge extends across B2B and B2C markets, and she is actively involved in associations and events, delivering keynote addresses as an expert in her field to audiences around the country. Known to have a proven track record delivering repeated successes to her client, whether medium to small businesses or corporations, her client roster is the who's who of blue chip companies, thought leaders, CEO experts, and inventors. She's worked with all of them, placing clients and their products on leading platforms like Ellen, The Today Show, Tonight Show, and Erin's insider perspective and extensive professional network efforts affords clients the leverage to achieve their professional goals. And now the show is over because she had such a long
I know. I'm like,
bio.
I can't believe you're reading all this. This is awesome. What do I do when I'm like, oh my gosh, like no wonder I'm exhausted, right?
Yeah. Or you could just sit there and smile and go, oh, I am so amazing.
I know. Am I wearing too much perfume? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, you're wearing too much perfume. I can smell. Where are you? In New Jersey? And I can smell
Jersey.
You're in Utah.
Sense of Secaucus.
You don't have the accent. Where is it?
Oh, I got rid of that in Pennsylvania. I thought I'd be a newscaster. Silly me.
Oh, wow.
So I started to have to speak like Midwest. I took on a Midwestern, though I don't know. It's been a while now. But I never had a tough, strong Jersey accent. I've got a sassy spirit like that. But as far as the delivery, it sounds very, we'll see you back at 5 in the studio. Back to you, Joan.
There we go. So wait a minute. Isn't there some place in the Midwest where all of the newscasters go to train? Somebody told me that recently.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, is there? Like,
I don't know. I'm super
I
gullible,
think it's
I guess.
Detroit. Yeah, I think it's Detroit.
It's not Detroit. And what, if they come out alive, they get to be a newscaster?
It's called Survivor. It's like newscaster survival story, like, yeah. It's actually not a bad concept. I like that.
Yeah, it isn't.
Like that. We should get out and pitch it.
From Detroit to what starts with a D that is media? Nothing. We can't even make a name out of
Disney?
It. That was sad.
I don't know.
From Detroit to Disney. There you go. So you and I talked about you coming on and talking a little bit about expectations when hiring a PR firm, because we hear so much about, I hired this firm and I expect to be in every major magazine and on every single channel, and it hasn't happened.
Yeah, I know. We were going to talk about that. Yeah. No, I just not to sound all valley now, but it bums me out because so PR cost a crud ton of money, in my opinion. And the people that are doing PR, no joke, if done well, are earning every single cent of that campaign because it's telemarketing. It's smile and dial. There's no, you can't have any ego in it. When you're the person calling for, like, you're selling it, right? And so you have to have a thick skin or you have to have really great contacts. I don't have a thick skin, and but I do have really great contacts, and it's the only way I survived once I left Barbara. Oddly enough, you also need a thick skin to be in the media, and again, still didn't have a thick skin. But I think because I was like, oh, I need everyone to like me, like I somehow managed that, like, I was like, Rose on Golden Girls, Juliet. I swear I was like the Rose, like, I wanted to be Blanche Devereaux. After my divorce, I assure you. But, I wanted to be Blanche Devereaux, but I was Rose. And I was like, I need everyone to like me and this and that. And I'm still a little bit like that now, to the point where I needed to start, to answer your question, I needed to start managing expectations, because when I first was taking on clients, I just was like, all right, I'll call my friends, this, and this. And like within, I don't know, an hour, they had the Today Show, they had Ellen and something else, like all my best friends. It was like, and it was because it was a great client. And, Jack Canfield was like Oprah and this and that. I mean, I was just like, Shazam. And then everybody else thought I would be getting them the same results. And only once did I got them out of like the 10 national shows, I got them 2 national placements, and they're like, great. So when are we doing the 8 more? And I'm like, what? They're like, well, you're pitching 10, obviously, girlfriend, you're getting 10. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm thinking, I was just about to think maybe you're going to send me a nice, like, Harry and David pear tray for Christmas because I just knocked it out of the park. And when the silence, like over the phone, when they were told, no, honestly, because of booking complications and booking wars or whatever, 2 out of 10, I think we might be done. Like, and I was so mad at myself because I didn't manage their expectations correctly. And so instead of being psyched and thinking I was amazing, which I needed that at the time more than the paycheck. Really weird. Now I'm fine with just the paycheck, and I'm okay if you don't all like me. Oh. But, back in the day, somebody being displeased, real parental issues I was having, like real issues, right? So I went to therapy for it, don't worry, and Landmark. But, I did, no joke. I was like, this is getting in the way of like, well, everything. So I basically was like, I'm sorry, so now I tell everybody for the past 20 years that you can expect 0 to 10% return on pitching, because I don't ever want to be paid hourly, because if I charge $500 an hour, which is my rate in theory, which is obnoxious and high, but if I imagine for that one call for Jack Canfield, I got Oprah and the Today Show in 45 minutes. So I'm not even getting $500, and I got 2 national placements. So luckily I never charged by the hour. So, that's that. But I now say 10% of return on booking, 0 to 10%. And I'm not so sure, sometimes I'm more like 5%. So in other words, but any agency, I think they could probably cover that spread. If I'm pitching 100 shows, maybe we'll get you on 10. Then they might be little cable shows. But I think that that's a nicer way to manage their expectations. But the zero is in there too. So out of 100 shows, you're still maybe only going to get 2, and they might still be little mini cable shows. You just have to know that. I've really rambled right now.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. You do that. That's why I love you. So what kind of training does it really take? Because I think that if you look at my audience with their books and their products and services, they have this expectation that they will just get on that show and talk and it'll be amazing. And it's really a very short clip and they need to be trained. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Unlike what I'm doing right now, I think everybody should be media trained. Like my brand isn't short sound bites. My brand is this, right? You don't hang out with me because you like quick conversations and moments. That's just not my brand, right? And I'm okay with that. I give great TV. I give great phone and great TV. So I'm old now. I'm to the point where you just want to let her talk. You know, I'm like the George Burns of whatever. But when you get on TV, like if you're sitting across from whomever, you really want to come out of the gate with 8 seconds. Just boom, hit me with something that makes me want to just, you know, like my first 8 seconds with you, I asked you if I was wearing too much perfume. That tells your audience this woman will say anything on camera. And she's a wacko. But I just listened to a diatribe of her bio, so she's probably smart too. I may have to stick around because I don't know what this chick's going to do next.
Or they could stalk you to find out what kind of perfume you wear.
Right.
So there's some crazies out there.
Either way. But, you know, that's building a following. No, but you know, I'll do anything to build my platform, Juliet. So, you know, talking in simple sound bites is key.
Can you give us an example of that?
I just talked in a simple sound bite and you were like, I'm uncomfortable with this. I need Erin to give me more. Right? So you need to really figure out what you're wanting to do. Like, what are we wanting your audience to do right now that are listening to us? I don't know because I'm a giver and I'm just here to impart knowledge. But we really want them to sign up for something. We want them to listen to more of your podcast. We want them to enroll in your programs. And by you, then they get to me. It's a beautiful thing, right? So we want to help people find their lane. So just because you're getting interviewed by someone finally, you still have to remember why you want to be interviewed, right? So past the narcissistic point of I want to be famous, which I'm not judging. I would like to be famous too, right? So I like wear that with a great shade of lipstick and you're fine, right? But past that, you still need to sell something or give them something. You know, even Kardashian's tweeting and she's getting $1 zillion per tweet. So you got to figure out what's your end game. And it's all in the strategy. So for me, all the work is getting done before you even get on that camera. And when you get on the camera, when you get on the show, you have to stay on point. Like I look like I'm all over the place, but I know absolutely where I'm taking you right now. Absolutely. I'm just so crazy about it that you just don't know. And I would rather entertain you first and, you know, teach you something tied for first than me make $1 or get a follower. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to realize what your brand is.
Get a follower, says the woman who just invited crazies to follow her.
It wouldn't be the first time.
So what kind of, do you have workshops or, you know, how long does it really take to train someone for these media appearances?
Well, you know, are we talking, so there's 2 things here, right? There's how to pitch the media and what to do once you get booked. And yeah, we can help with both. How to pitch the media, you really need to kind of figure out what your neuro story is. Like, why are you doing it beyond the whole getting famous thing? Like, why are you doing this? Why did you create this product? Why did you come up with this book? And how are you differentiating yourself amongst everybody else that did something? There's not much uniqueness in the world these days, sadly. So one of the things I would love to invite everyone to do is absolutely get over yourself, really, because the gone are the days where like, it's like, oh, I created this thing. It's like, no, it's, I'm not saying it's not done, but the technology these days, there's such little nuances of invention that the toaster or the loaf of bread or the pet rock, like those are few and far between now. So there's a pretty good chance we're all, me included, are coming out with a product or a process that is just a different shade of lipstick. Let's be honest, right? So the first thing is truly, let's get over ourselves, find out what we really are doing, find out intuitively who needs to do it that with us versus somebody else with a different tribe, and let's get them going. So for me, I created a product called Mastering the Media. And honestly, I thought I was doing a Facebook group. We all jumped on these recorded Zoom calls, and it's crusty. It's crusty. The info is good. Believe it or not, I even put slides up, and I'm structured, and we break it down into 6 weeks, but like, it's not professionally shot. It's coming from a TV producer. It's crap. You know what I mean? Like but it's good. Like if you just want to be like a voyeur and like peek into what my consulting 6-week program would do, I recorded it and I sell it for $297. And I take credit cards, but like literally I make no bones about it. Like there's almost like, this looks like shit, part of my French, but like it does, because it wasn't supposed to be glamorous. It just was like, wow, I'm really giving some good stuff behind the scenes. My teammates were going, we need to hit record. So we went back, we recorded a few once we knew what we were doing, and now it's just up there on a teachable platform. One day I'll make it better, but right now that's what it is. So there's 2 parts, right? So that part I think is the harder part, is how are you going to position who you are to this group of people? But this group of people watches all these different types of media, and they read all these, and they listen, and they're not all watching the same thing, but you could be appropriate for so many different people. So when you call the Today Show, now you got to talk Today Show language. When you call CNN, oh, so different. Then when you call Good Housekeeping, different language. It's all the same. It's the same message. You are who you are at the core, but how you deliver the message, CNN, fact-driven, data, maybe politics, don't go too right-wing, blah, blah, blah. Today's Show, like tie it into a back-to-school study or whatever, or, and if you are a book and you want to tie it into a current event and you're with a publisher, you're going to get in trouble, in theory, if you don't call the book producer. But a chick like me, I'll backdoor that all the time, because I'll just call our friends who are producers. I won't lead with the book pitch, though I want the book. That's my goal. But as long as the author of that book is an expert and can just talk about great stuff, then they'll be like, oh, coming back, she's the author of blah, blah, blah. But I'm not leading with it. So it's not like I'm trying to get it on a bestseller campaign, or if I am, they don't think I am. It's very sleight of hand. So I do some talks about the dark art of marketing. I think you've been in some of my chats, right? And I try to have some fun with it, but that's what it is. It's like, I want this to be plugged, but I'm going to scream out here so you don't see me getting this involved. And not every PR person thinks that way, because they've never been in the media, let's say. Not everybody, but and I know how to get things in. So,
and I want to make a point here about something you said about the program is not polished. That's another expectation thing that I'm going to share for a minute. is, we all look at the media as this really glamorous place, this really glamorous thing. And I have been on ad shoots where we have spent like 2 or 3 completely boring, tedious, awful days shooting a commercial.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that from the real side of it, it's not glamorous at all. So
No.
I think the fact that you shared that, it's rough and dirty, a lot of that business really is just that way. So you're pretty much getting the authentic thing there.
Yeah, and I'm okay with doing that, because I think, as your audience has learned with me now, I like to have fun. I like to have a good time, but I take what I say when I get into tip mode very seriously. I totally know what's going on. And I just think it's hard enough as it is. We might as well, I'm so tired of the fake and the false and I wore lipstick today, but I'm fine with not, like I want everybody to be real, because I think we're working so hard on our stuff, right? And we're all parents and spouses and daughters and brothers and sisters and neighbors and whatever, like whoever you are, pet lovers, like I I think like we all have so many things going on in our lives that if we all just wait till we look perfect, it's just not going to happen. It's never going to happen for me. So I thought, if I can help people and just put it up there, and don't, you don't have to email me saying it looks like crud. I know that's the point. Like, I just wanted to get it out of my brain. But the managing of expectations is so important, because, we are working, a lot of us, 2 jobs, right? And we take what we've earned here and we spend it here. And now we're realizing we're limited. We don't know how to market. We don't know how to digital market. We don't know how, like Juliet, we don't know what you do, right? We don't know how you do it, but we know we need, well, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in our audience right now. Like, and so I need Juliet, or I need Erin, or I need whatever. So I'm going to take what I've worked really hard for, and I'm going to make that investment. But that doesn't mean, ladies and gentlemen, that you're now off the hook.
Right.
It just means you've hired help. And that doesn't mean you've hired Superman or Houdini. It doesn't mean there's a guarantee. Just because you've now second mortgaged your house, and I cannot believe I hear people do that, right? That they tell themselves this fairy tale, like, I'm going to take a second, third mortgage. I'm going to dip into my kids' college fund.
Right. I know.
Because I believe so much in this book.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop. That's awful. I'm not even saying you're a bad parent. I'm just saying you're like a dodo head, because there's no guarantee.
Right.
So why do that? And I spend money like a crazy person. Fiscally, I'm not responsible, right? So for me to say it, that's a warning, so don't go and hire these people, and they're going to try their best, right? They're, all intents and purposes, the people that you're hiring, the Juliets, the Erins, the Shawns, the Teresas, like, they're all good people in theory. I mean, some of them aren't, but like, in earnest, no one wants to just take your money and fail. In theory, I hope you're all vetting out the people that you try to hire. But if you should just then go to a casino and just not even put it on red or black, because it's never that cut or dry. Just take $100,000 and put it on number 13. And we'll see what happens.
Wow. So what's the other end of it? I think we've covered the booking.
Well, so clearly you can do it yourself, but I wouldn't. No, you can do it yourself, but you have to trust it. And then when you're ready to be on camera, then that's called media training. And I have a lot of great friends that do that professionally. You can sit right here on video. You can do mock interviews. I think that one good interview gets you a lot. So actually, this is fun we can talk about. I have been approached by a book publisher to do interviews with authors, well, their authors, where it's a small paid thing. Like, so this isn't a plug. I don't want any business from them. I'm just sharing with you what publishers are now starting to do. And they know I've done thousands of interviews. And so they're like, well, you've done this for Barbara. So I'm just saying, do it for us. We'll pay you per author, or the author will pay. You're going to look at that, maybe read their book, and come up with interviews questions. And you're going to take the best interview parts. You're going to talk to them. Now you're going to film an interview. They'll come to your in-home studio, which I have one, or we'll do a split screen. And then we're going to media train them first. And we're going to finally have a ta-da interview. And now I can take my PR people, this is still the publisher saying it, can take that interview and now get a bigger fish with this bait. Because your first interview is kind of important, or just having one interview that's really good, because not everybody knows how to ask questions that will make you look good, which will sell your book, which will get you then on the Today Show. So the importance of media training, when you finally do get that booking, whether it's on a video podcast like our stuff that we all do, or the Today Show, or just local, is that, you need to look the part, dress, sound the part, you need to speak the part, and there's stages to it, and so right down to mirroring the host, what they're wearing. A guy was on Anderson Cooper the other night, and I noticed, like, Anderson has a tie on, the other guest has a tie on, and the other guy had no tie, sport coat, and the shirt. And I thought, and his makeup looked weird, which isn't his fault, but somebody airbrushed it. And I could see, because of the angle, I saw him very pale here and orange here. And I couldn't stop looking between that and the no tie. I'm not sure I heard what he said.
Right. I've been noticing that. I won't say what channel I listen to, but funky hair lately. Like, what did you do to her hair? And you're focusing on that hair, and like, can I reach out and just fix it for you instead of listening to what you're saying?
And I'm friends with a lot of the makeup people on shows. A great friend of mine works at Good Morning America. And so what I know to be true, and this could have happened here, is that they have on a different shirt and they don't want to get it. So then they put it on, but then the whole line is different in the like people are just not thinking. And in a show like that, where you're in DC or you're in New York and whatever, it's like boom, 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 boom. It's not a spa day. They're like, you're going in, and just because they're there to help enhance who you already are, you have to go what you think is makeup ready, and then they take it to the next level. So basically, if you're wearing a tiny print, just know it's going to jump on camera. And now we're not even talking about what you're going to say. We're just now talking all this about how you look, which sounds crazy, but it's true. That it's a factor.
Okay, so I just want to know, how early do you have to go in to get your eyelash refill?
Oh, for me?
No, for everyone on the shows. Like, it takes so long, and like, do you?
No, you get maintenance like every 2 weeks.
No, I know that because I have mine done, but I'm just thinking, it looks like they redo their eyelashes like every day.
They probably do. Well, they do, and on the daytime talk shows, they probably have eyelash, like whatever, like I do, but then they put on strips. Like, it's Betty Boop sometimes there, so everybody does it differently. We should book Elena George on your show to talk about doing makeup for on-camera appearances for your audience.
Oh, could you make that happen?
Yeah.
Or do I have to hire you? No.
We'll call her. When do you want to book her? She's the makeup person. She travels with Robin, and she's always on the road, and she's the makeup person for Good Morning America.
Oh, that would be
You'll do
awesome.
it.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yes.
So this has been so very helpful. I want to hear more about your Mastery Media program, where people can get it, what it's all about. I want you to speak about it like you really like it, now that you've said it's like super crappy.
No,
But
I
the
do love it. I
content's
do love it. I do. No, I love it because it's genuine. I love it because it's not expensive. And I love it because everybody can follow along and learn at their own pace. It's just raw. So, in the video, I'll say like, okay, everybody submit your homework to me by Thursday. Well, I'm not checking homework anymore. Like I was just doing that. Somebody signed up for the class and they're calling me. They're like, hey, I'm on Thursday's call. Where is everyone? I'm like, oh God, that's a recording. I'm not doing it. Like, So, but that's me learning. That's me setting up my own expectations. Like everyone knew, because I put on a little banner, like, so I'm human too, so, I love it. We do 6 modules. Each one is like an hour plus long. Then there's question and answers on Thursdays that were videotaped. And this group of people, I love them. There's a product manufacturer. There was a plus size model in there. There's a journal book creator. And I mean, just so eclectic of a group. You had left brains, right brains, maybe no brains. That would be me. Like, it was great. It was great. And so they really brought a diverse think tank to the table. So I like it a lot. It's masteringthemedia101.com. Anybody can just reach out to me and send me a message on Facebook, or, Erin Saxton is that. Everybody can just reach out to me normally or through your show. Let's start bringing traffic through yours, and then you can send them to me, and then I'll make you an affiliate. Or I think we're supposed to be saying, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think we're supposed to be anyway, but like my assistant hasn't cocked to your assistant since he offered. No.
Right. But whatever, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too, right? Like we're running so fast that we have an expectation also that, it'll just work out, and it will, because we're friends. But a lot of people, we just need to slow down, and we also need to truly manage our expectations. Like everybody, don't try for the Today Show right away, because what could happen? You could get on, which I know is great, but if you're not ready, then you're going to blow that one chance, and they're not going to book you multiple, don't tell yourself a fairy tale. You're not going to go on and then they fall in love with you and you're going to be this recurring guest. Like one time I was with Barbara Walters, and prior to Aaron Spelling passing away back long time ago, it was the days of Melrose Place, right? And I was the youngest one on Barbara's production staff. And I'm sitting in Aaron Spelling's office, and there's a picture of Tori Spelling, as a little girl. And I'm thinking, Aaron, you want me on the show. You want me on the show. I'm about to say something really, really awesome. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, Barbara, I can't see anybody. I just love this girl. She's so cute. She's 22 years old. That man didn't even look at me.
It didn't work out?
It didn't. I don't want to shock you and ruin the ending, but I'm 48 now. This was when I was 22. I'm pretty sure he's not calling me. Right?
Andrew Shue didn't marry you?
No, he did not.
You poor thing.
So I think I have his birthday and mine are the same day, I think.
Are we going to have to look that up and verify and see if you're like delusional and made that up just because you like Melrose Place so much?
But I was like, I don't know. Like, I just thought I should have been. So then fast forward the next day, because we were there to interview Heather Locklear, and I'm in Heather's kitchen with her then husband, Richie Sambora. Now, Richie and I are both from New Jersey, and I happened to be on the boardwalk when Bon Jovi was creating their first music video we were all just kids. So were they, and we're all just there. So I'm like, oh, who's these dorks making this video? It turns out it was Bon Jovi, right? So I'm telling Sambora the story, and then I'm telling Heather, like, honestly, you missed out. She's like, what happened? I'm like, I pretty much was right there. I could have been your chunky younger cousin on Melrose Place in from college or something. And Erin's spelling was so short-sighted in this moment that you now lost out, Heather. And Richie, now you did too.
Great. And I think we'll end on that story.
All right.
Erin, thank you so much. As usual, it's always so fun just chatting with you and having it go all over the place. I love you for that. All right, then
I'm here to help. Truly, I am here to help. Anybody needs me, call you and call me or whatever. We'll get it done for you.
Yes, and Erin's last name is spelled Saxton. If you want to find her on Facebook, and it's Erin.
Yes.
So, all right, thank you, kiddo.
Bye-bye. Talk soon.